So what I have right here is a 1953 Bolens Power Ho. These things were quite little machines back in the day. People on farms, ranches, and just your regular day-to-day gardener used to use these just to do basically about anything. They had all kinds of different attachments. This one has a cultivator and sickle mower attached to it, but you could get snow blowers, plows, a whole wagon cart to ride on. They were quite a machine. So we'll go through the history of the little Power Ho here in a little bit, but right now I think we should do a walk around and see if we can't get the little thing to run, because I've got some gardening ideas I think this thing would be perfect for. So let's go ahead and dig in. We're definitely gonna have to do some work to the fuel tank, because the heck is that? That almost looks like a wasp nest. Well, we'll have to take this off and clean it out and hopefully get a cap situation. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Definitely gonna have to take the carburetor off. That's good. Our glass bowl doesn't seem to be cracked or busted any. Probably have to... Yeah, she's pretty stuck on there. We'll have to be careful with that. We definitely don't want to break that, because I'm sure finding a new one of those is like finding a needle in a haystack. But we'll have to change the oil in this piece. Probably clean it too, because it looks pretty gunky. This is an oil bath filter. Back in the 50s, 40s, probably earlier, up until the late 60s, maybe even the early 70s, they'd use oil bath air filters instead of an element air filter. They're probably the best air filters out there, but if you had a backfire, you'd be prone to catch on fire. So, great in purpose, not so great after the fact. So, chain drive, that's interesting. Belt drive off the engine, and then chain drive. That's probably a gear reduction right there. That seems hard as a rock. Oh, god dang. That's gonna be fun to break free. Anyway, wheel weights, cultivator, handle. Wonder what this would have been for. This looks like it might be our clutch. Yeah. Oh, shoot. That is on there. By golly. I don't know if these wheels are going to hold air, because they used to put calcium chloride in these back in the day, that or water. But since it's got wheel weights, I'm not 100% sure if that was something that they would have needed to do. It's got tubes in it. This isn't original. These two pieces of channel iron, the Power Ho ends right here. So this was farmer added so that they could have the sickle mower on here. It's a pretty decent looking sickle mower. Oh, I bet you that this right here, this little hook thing, connects to this guy, or would have connected to this guy somehow, so that you could operate the sickle mower from the handlebars. This would put tension on the belt, and this belt would pull this pulley to make those go back and forth. I'll have to play around with that. Definitely gonna have to think about getting a new belt. What do you guys think? Looks like we've got another gear reduction right here. This looks like might be a planetary gear set. It's kind of what it's seeming like. That little bit of movement there is between two gears. That'll be neat if it does. Can't really see much else. Let's go ahead and take this off. Have to get some screwdrivers and wrenches, I guess. We'll dive into this and see what else we can find. Before we turn this thing over any, which I didn't even check that. Okay, yeah, it's not stuck, but these aren't very high compression machines. So, I don't know. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and get this taken apart, see if it's even got oil in it, clean it up a little bit, and we'll go from there. now that we got all that off of the engine, we can actually see it. You can see that everything's actually pretty small. We got pretty lucky taking this little fuel line off, that it didn't just twist and break. But we're gonna take the carburetor off, I'm sure, because that's like the first thing that always gets gummed up. But before we even do anything on the engine, we have to do something about the fuel tank. So I just tipped the tank over, and this is what came out of it, all this rust and dirt and stuff. But inside here, there is a yellow jacket nest. Well, you can't see it now, but there's a massive yellow jacket nest that we're gonna have to pull out of there because that's just gonna cause issues. But look at, it's still going. Oh my gosh. Is this thing just full of it? Oh my gosh, that thing's huge. Oh my goodness, that thing's massive. Look at this pile though. Holy cow. So I just took this little guy off and oh my goodness. Yeah, we definitely had to take this off. We're gonna have to soak this. We're gonna have to hopefully get that out of there. That is a whole bunch of sediment. So there's probably gas left in here. That's stiff too. Okay, but anyway, I just wanted to show you that because when I took it off, I was like, holy cow, would you look at that? Anyway, back to it. You guys want to see something gross? Ew, the forbidden soup. So all of that is mostly this, but we got the wasp nest out, and now when you look in here, there it is. It just had some water stuck over it, but now you can see the hole through there. That wasn't there before, so we got the tank. It's still not clean, but now we can clean this guy. This guy's gonna be a little bit more tricky, especially since it's so small and I don't want to break anything, and I probably can't get a replacement. But there's a look at all that gunk in there. And there is a filter in here. Here's our gasket, whatever's left of it. Look at that. I'll have to get a pick to get the filter out. So this kind of fuel filter is a sediment bowl type. This is the sediment bowl that catches anything big that comes out of here. And then this filter right here is what catches the small fine sand stuff, which is like this stuff right here, before it comes out and goes into your carburetor. So we definitely don't want to damage this little filter. So we can set that off to the side because that's safe for it. Might have to heat this up. Now see what this does is when metal gets hot, right? It expands, which should break it free from anything, but we want to be careful because this isn't like steel or anything. This stuff here can melt really quickly. Well, I'd say we got it hot enough. Okay, check it out. My blowtorch is Bluetooth. Oh man, it's still. This is nice and loose now. All right, so after some negotiation, I finally got the petcock out. And as you can see, the threads here were definitely not in the greatest of shape, so we'll have to clean that up and fix that. But it's out now, which means we can finally clean this piece and actually use it. First, let's see if we actually get... So we're still not getting anything out of it, but we do have the ability to start cleaning it now. So I got this thing all repaired. It works now, but unfortunately I won't be able to use it because our fuel tank has a rust hole in it. Imagine that, right here, little rust hole, which means we can't use it. So we'll have to repair the fuel tank now, but we're not gonna do that at this moment because I do have a little auxiliary tank that we're gonna just fasten onto the machine to see if this thing will run. So all we gotta do now is put gas in the fuel tank, clean the spark plug, and cross our fingers that that carburetor is well enough that we'll at least be able to see if it runs. Make sure we don't get any mouse turds in our spark plug. Oh yeah, it's on there. That doesn't look the best, but it doesn't have any water rust on it. If it had anything bad on it, it'd be all like rusty and stuff. Well, we can do a compression test while we're sitting here. It's got compression, enough to blow my finger off of it, which is all you need. Okay, well, on that note, that just makes this so much more better. This thing has a real chance at running. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a little bit of Marvel Mystery Oil and I'm just going to put it down in here and let it sit there for a little bit. That way if the rings are stuck any, it'll help loosen it up while we play with other stuff here. So this is the best way that I've found to clean spark plugs. It's just by putting them on a wire wheel. Should probably put some safety glasses on. Make sure you guys put your safety glasses on. There you go. Basically a brand new spark plug, right? We can go ahead and file it a little bit and we'll go ahead and test it to make sure that we're actually getting spark here. But if it works, our spark plug is clean. So this is not the fun way to test to see if you have spark, but it is the way you can do it. Oh gosh, I hate getting shocked. Yep. We got a little bit. It's not as bad as I was thinking it was gonna be. I was expecting like a Volkswagen. If you've ever been shocked by a Volkswagen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this had a little bit of spark. I'm hoping it's enough to start this thing. I'm hoping it's enough to send power through the spark plug. All right, so here's the setup. Got the gravity feed tank on down to our little tubular situation here to the carburetor. Now, I did blow on this tube and there's no leak here with air at least. And I did hear sound in here, like the sound of air, which means our float hopefully isn't stuck open, but it's not stuck closed, which means it should receive fuel. Now this thing was running when parked 30 some years ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some fuel in and I got some starter fluid. We'll shoot some starter fluid down in there and turn it over and see if it fires. All right, I'm not sure if we're at top dead center or not. Nothing. That feels top dead center like. So we're still getting Marvel Mystery Oil out of it, so we might have fouled the plug. All right, I'm going to try just a few more things here. I'm gonna get something else other than this cord to turn this thing over. Did you see that? I think it just ran. Let's try that again. I don't know if that's it running or not. No. I'm going to take the spark plug back out, and I'm going to take a look at it to see if we fouled it. And I'm going to grab a different one and put it in there to see if we can get a different result here. So I went ahead and changed out the spark plug, and now it almost seems like we're not getting sparks. So that's interesting. But I had gotten spark when I had, but it might not be enough to make it run. So, and we'll try again here. Well, took that off. Not what I wanted to do. All right, let's try that again. Well, we definitely are hitting compression now because I can't get it to turn over with All right, I'm going to put this all back together, and we're just going to have to turn it over now because changing this out is actually giving it more compression, which means we were losing compression from here. That could have been part of our problem as well. But I don't know, we just need to be able to turn it over faster than what my arm is able to do. So that might be part of the problem. I don't know, we'll figure it out for sure. Well, I've got some bad news. I broke it. As I was putting everything back together with the Milwaukee Impact, I sheared the stud for the crank right off. This is supposed to be on the crankshaft. I'll show you. So right here, there was enough threads that I could still put the nut on, but this is supposed to come out a little further, right? So that this can go on there, right? And then you put the nut on and everything like that, and then everybody's happy. Well, when I was putting this nut on, it broke it right off. So yeah, but we'll figure it out. I think I already have an idea on how I'm going to get it fixed, but you'll have to wait on that for the next video. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by the garage today. I know we didn't get the little power hoe going in this video, so the question still stands, will it run? And I think we're getting closer and closer. Right now, we've got compression. We have a little bit of a momentary setback, but we can figure this out. It'll run again. It's just one of those things, I swear. Small engines do this every time. They're like the hardest to get running for some reason. I don't know. You'd think that it'd be just simple and easy because it's so tiny, but for some reason it's a pain in the rear. So we've got compression, we've got fuel. I might go ahead and take that carburetor apart just to make sure that it's not having any issues because I can't quite get that throttle to do anything like this right here. I can't quite get this to move the right way. So I'm thinking that has some problems. Either the cable's stuck or something stuck down on the motor, but we'll figure it out. And I've got an electrical problem. We've got plenty of spark from the spark plug wire. I shocked the ever-living crap out of myself when I was spinning it over really quick with that Milwaukee, it hurt. Like, it was Volkswagen Beetle Spark. It was quite stout. It woke me up, that's for sure. So, but anyway, got to do some figuring. And like I said, I think I've got an idea, but I'm gonna do some research, do a little bit of thinking on it. Might have to tear the engine apart and put the crank on the lathe and fix it that way, but I think I've got a pretty good idea. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out some more videos on the channel. We've got all kinds of fun stuff on here, all kinds of different revivals, and there's new projects that are ready and waiting for them for revival. There's all kinds of stuff ready and waiting. So I will see you all right back here at the garage in the next video. Make sure you turn on the notification bell and like the video. Comment down below where you're watching from, and if you've got any ideas on how I'm gonna fix this, fix my mess up here. So anyway, I'll see you all right back here at the garage in the next video.